So we'll take a second once we start, and then I'll cut it off wherever.
Okay.
Well, hi, and thanks for joining us. My name's Tim Marvel. I'm with 10 Seconds Daily. And along the road, that didn't come out what I wanted to. Oh, we'll just cut it off for a minute. Hi, this is Tim with 10 Seconds Daily. Today, I want to explore relationships. And when I think about relationships, I think about all the different parts to relationships. And I have my wife with me, and we're going to talk about relationships in the way of marriage and money. And the reason I want to do it is because it's not always roses, I don't think. Is it, Rocky?
Not at all.
As a matter of fact, when I think about going back to when we first got married, it was a little rough, right?
It was a little challenging at the beginning.
So we've been married about 17 years, and when we started out, would you say we had a little debt?
Yes, we didn't find out about it.
When you say we, I mean you didn't find out.
Well, I didn't find out about it until we were about a year in, so.
So, well, when you say a little bit of debt, what do you mean? How much?
Well, close to 6 figures, so that's quite a bit, I guess, not a little bit.
Okay. Now, that just because you have debt doesn't mean you have bad credit. First off, let's throw that out.
Right.
It wasn't that my credit was bad. I had a lot of debt.
No, Tim had excellent credit.
It's what she's trying to say is the debt wasn't hers, it was mine. Now we both had great credit because I always paid my bills. But the problem was there were other things when you get married that people want to do. And sometimes we start getting that conversation about, well, we can't do this because we don't have the money, and all of a sudden questions started coming up. Now,
Right.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, basically, I wanted to remodel the kitchen and the house, and we couldn't do it because we didn't have the money, and I didn't understand that because we both had great jobs, we're making good money, and we didn't have any debt, so I thought. And
well, you didn't have any debt. I had enough for both of us.
Yeah.
So when I think about it, I start thinking about relationships. Now we worked our way through it. Now, what was the first step? Now I got to say, she's the strength when it comes to financial. I can make money. I don't know what to do once I do, but we've gotten better. So what was the first step? What did we do? Do you remember those days?
Absolutely, like it was yesterday. No, basically what we ended up doing was having to put everything on the table and be transparent, first of all. And
oh, so transparency, that comes up in business too, right? Yeah. Being transparent? Okay, go ahead.
So we knew exactly what we had, so we could come up with a plan to attack it.
So we needed teamwork.
Yes, definitely teamwork.
Okay. It's funny how relationships resemble businesses at times. When we start thinking about what makes a successful business, we think about integrity, and we think about transparency and honesty, and guess what we're getting into? We're getting into all that, right?
Absolutely.
So the first thing we did was what? We laid everything on the table.
Everything out on the table, and we came up with a plan. And
what was the first step in the plan? Do you remember? I do. We sold our house.
Well,
I had a house.
Writing down the amount, and then we had to sell the house to be able to pay everything off.
So we started out by downsizing where we lived. I had lived in a house for many years and at different houses. We won't talk about how I sold the house so I could be closer to Rocky. We won't go there. But we sold the house, we downsized so that we could focus on paying our bills off. And we used Dave Ramsey a little bit there in the beginning, right?
Dave Ramsey, we used Susie Orman is how we actually started, because we had to come up with a plan on how to pay off the credit cards with ease. So listening to Susie Orman, we came up with a plan using
Did we go hungry?
No.
Oh, we didn't go hungry, did we? So what I heard, and this is here we go back to business again. In order to be successful, businesses sometimes need training. Maybe they need some information. We went to Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman, and it was some of the information we needed to do to move forward. Okay, well let's move forward a little bit. Now, how long did that last? Do you remember about how long ago? Because we made some pretty important decisions. One of our decisions was get rid of credit cards. We made an agreement we weren't going to have credit cards anymore. Now we have business cards, which are different because we pay them off every month. But we eliminated all of our debt other than our cars and our house. And how long did that take?
Really, I think it was about 6 years, 5 or 6 years.
Okay, so we didn't really struggle. I think the first couple of years were difficult because we really had a budget and we stayed really strict. And then as we started getting ahead of it a little bit, we opened up a little bit. Now, please understand, we went from a 4-bedroom house down to a 2-bedroom apartment, and then we went to a 2-bedroom condo, and then we bought a small house. And it's just been in the last 5 years or so. So it was about 10 years into it that we actually got into an adult house, I call it.
Yeah,
One that was big enough we could fit everything into, right?
exactly. Yeah.
So it's not been
It
difficult.
doesn't happen overnight. For sure.
Right. Oh, wait a minute. I like that. So it's about daily decisions and how we spend our money. See, 10 Seconds Daily is about daily decisions. Now, I will tell you, I'm really proud about our marriage, and a lot of people compliment us and tell us how great we are at things. And we didn't shoot each other or anything when we went through this process.
We came close, but
close.
we survived.
But I just, I keep thinking about, when I think about how relationships are, and I think about how businesses are, and I think about how things are so common between the two. So you mentioned several things. We talked about education, we talked about integrity, we talked about transparency and honesty. I think it's amazing when we start getting into these things and we talk about money, how they all tie together. Now, I would say that we have an above average marriage. I think we're pretty close. And I think we're going to talk about relationships in a couple months, and we're going to throw it out there for people and talk about how our relationships ground. Here we are, we're 17 years in. We've turned around our finances. I think we're fairly comfortable. We don't go hungry. We have a nice roof over our head.
We also live within our means.
Absolutely. I think that was one of the keys for us, is that we don't do things, if we can't pay for it, we don't go do it. And I remember when we bought our adult house, so I call it, I remember putting windows in, and I said, hey, we can't do it until we pay cash for it. And we had a savings number we said we had to stay at. And I said, whatever we do, we need to have that, whatever that number is, above our savings. So when we write a check, that we had that baseline.
Mm-hmm.
And we've moved that number around a little bit, and we've really worked to be pretty liquid about the money we spend. We never do things that we can't pay cash for. A matter of fact, we're proud because, before too long, we hope our house is paid off, which that's an amazing thing, to take a 30-year mortgage and pay it off in probably less than 10 years. So
that's a big goal.
So what I'm going to throw out there is, and I'm not a marriage counselor, and I'm not any of that, but what I am thinking about is 10 Seconds Daily and the decisions we made to move forward. And it wasn't that we were ever unengaged in that process. Because I believe by making the right decisions each day, you're going to determine where you're going to end up. And I heard this recently, and it said, you don't control the outcomes of things. You control your attitude and your effort. And I got to say, by being a team and sharing the effort amongst us, I think we did a great job.
I think so too.
Good job.
Good job.
Hey, so we want to thank you for joining us, and I hope you will again. Rocky's going to join us later on. We're going to talk about relationships and talk about all the little pieces that go into making a strong relationship, because I think we do okay there too.
I think so.
So thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you soon. Tim Marble, 10secondsdaily.com. Join us. There's videos, blogs, all kinds of stuff on the website, and it's all free. So talk to you soon. Have a great day.
Have a great day.